One of the things that I say is the most courageous thing you can do, above all bravery, is to be honest with yourself. People say to me, "And what's the bravest thing you've ever done?" And I always talk about the story of the job centre steps, because that took courage, that took balls, that's bravery right there. I've been in rooms where bullets are flying over my head. I've kicked doors down, and I've saved life. It's like, that's not being brave. That's just me being extremely good at my job and loving what I do. There's nothing to do with bravery. Bravery is almost forced upon you. But when you decide to step into the arena, when you decide to step into that and go, right, I'm going to face this, and put that mirror on yourself, ultimately facing yourself, that is the hardest but most liberating thing I've ever done. And people shy away from that, and they live in the void. They live this life where they just live in the void. I call it, I say, you're on autopilot, because you're lying to yourself, and it's pretty simple. Therefore, you're going to live a lie. I'm not a rocket scientist. It's just simple science. If you lie to yourself, well, guess what? You're going to live a lie. But standing in a mirror and ripping yourself apart does take away all the bullshit and all the complications, and it frees you as an individual. But you have to do it on a regular basis. You're constantly changing, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly adapting your mindset. That's what evolution is about. The world is designed to evolutionizes, and we are designed to do exactly the same. And the moment that you're not honest with yourself, it's game over for you. It's like you just want to be just that person. And it all goes back to you as an individual. No one can do that for you. No one can do that for you. And I say to everyone, everything starts with you. And it's so true. If you don't want to change, then nothing will change around you. If you don't want to be honest with yourself, well, guess what? You're lying to yourself. It's the complete opposite. Therefore, you're living a lie. Time an obstacle was thrown in front of you, you can fall back on, right, to be honest with yourself. Be honest with who you are. Be honest with you, with how you tackle things, and don't lie to yourself. You will always find something that fits you. Do you know what I mean? If you have the passion and the drive and the ambition and the positivity of knowing who you are, then ultimately the world is your oyster. People have this impression of me that I'm this hard-faced drill sergeant, non-accepting person. I am the complete opposite. Go and be who the fuck you want to be. That's my message. If that's what, then don't let anyone force you into saying anything, doing anything, or being anyone else. Be yourself. But I preach positivity till it comes home. Everything I believe is down to a positive mindset and how you perceive the way that you think. And the way, we have this default mindset, which is negative. Everything's like, what if this, what if that? I won't do that because of this. And mine's the opposite. Mine's like, right, best outcome is this. If anything comes along, I'll deal with it. Okay. And it's that mindset that I always fall back on. And again, it's one of those that I just find so liberating, that I can just think that way. But I put myself in the firing line. I put myself constantly in the firing line to constantly challenge myself, to constantly flip these negatives into positives. Without negativity, you wouldn't have positivity. People say, so I challenge negativity. I love negativity because I will challenge it and challenge it and challenge it. I love the work ethic and the psychological sort of resilience it takes to challenge negativity. There's nothing more rewarding in this world than flipping a negative into a positive. Because if you're willing, and again, if you're willing to work hard enough, and you're willing to take the shit and the fucking and the bullshit and everything that surrounds negativity, if you're willing to dive into the center of it, and you're willing to work in order to flip it into a positive, then I guarantee you will find a positive in it. I'm going to keep evolving. My mindset's going to keep changing. I'm going to keep getting wiser. I'm going to keep getting more knowledgeable. I'm going to keep being honest with myself. And for me, that's my purpose in life. Nothing out there. It's nice to have the nice cars, the nice houses. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have money. I've had no money, and now I've got money. That's all. But that's all that comes part and parcel with being true to who you are. And my purpose in life which is I will never achieve, but which is I find fascinating, is trying to get to the best possible version of Ant Middleton. Trying to get to that. Okay, but knowing that I never get to that answer, because I'll be on this constant progression of becoming a better version of who I am. But I never become the best version of who I am, because that's when you're perfect. That's when you're at 100% you, and that's not real. But the purpose of getting closer and closer and closer and closer to that answer is such a fascinating journey for me that there's nothing that comes close to it. There's nothing that comes close to it. And whether I have the counselling or the shows that keep coming, or the TV production companies that call me now, and the channels that call, whether I have failures or whatever it may be, all of these, everything that bounces in towards me is something to learn from. And it's closer and closer to the answer, closer and closer to my objective.